Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the HNE Podcast. This is the main podcast at HN Entertainments. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by Aaron.
Hello, y'all. What's up? Good to be back.
Yep, and we have a voice that you probably have heard very recently. We got Luke.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Yeah, so it's been a while since we've done podcasts, which has mostly been just scheduling issues and all kinds of stuff going down behind the scenes, but I'm glad to have Luke back on these because it's been a while. Do you remember the last time we had you on a podcast?
Last time I was on a podcast, it was a Super Friends podcast, if I remember, and as was typical with the Super Friends podcast, nobody liked it, and we got called an assortment of names based on it. But that was just typical fashion for Super Friends. But no, I mean, it is glad to be back. I like talking with you guys about stuff, particularly all the really great things that happened recently and some of the not so great things.
Briefly touch on some recent shows that have been coming out, streaming shows particularly. So we got Watchmen on HBO, got The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and Harley Quinn on DC Universe. So I guess, Luke, do you want to start off your thoughts on those shows?
Yeah, so recently I got into a couple of these. Watchmen I've been trying to keep up with. I fell off for a bit after the third episode. And I believe it's like episode 8 at the time of this recording, so it's almost done.
Yeah.
I went in not paying attention to a lot of the divisiveness around it. I told myself, look, I know the book. I'm going to go in. I'm going to go with my own thoughts. And I really like Watchmen. And the reason I like Watchmen so much is because I don't think it's black and white at all. I think that because I read some of the complaints later on after I went through it, I can understand why some people might think that way, but I feel like that mostly comes if your only real exposure to it's from like the movie. If you watch the movie and then you watch the show, I think that informs a lot of the negativity around it, because I think the movie gives you a not really fair representation of those characters. I think the book does a much better job. Or I should say graphic novel, because Alan Moore would kill me if I kept calling it a book. Or no, he would kill me if I called it a graphic novel. It's a comic book.
He hates it anyway.
Yeah.
He's playing Pokemon Go now.
Well, don't be afraid of what you like, is what I'm trying to say. If it's a comic book, it's a comic book, whatever. Right? So the original comic book, I think, does a really good job of representing those characters. I think the show does a good job too, because a lot of it's based on the principles that no one is really right or wrong. They're just people, and people have their own ways of kind of controlling everything that goes on around them. Now, I know a lot of the problems, I think, kind of stem from Rorschach's part in the story, which I find weird because he doesn't really have a whole lot of part to play in the story of the show. He's kind of like he drives like the motivations of a certain group, but that group's motivation is based on a wrong interpretation of his motivations. And I think that's interesting, and I think that's a neat way to kind of go about showing how his worldview can kind of impact things later on. But as it stands, I'm on episode 4 right now. I'm going to be trying to catch up soon, maybe at some point give my final verdict over everything, but I like Watchmen a lot. Mandalorian's kind of the same way, because Mandalorian is like very much a single type of story. It's very much like, it doesn't have anything to do with all the larger bullshit in the Star Wars universe. It is literally just, this is a small pocket. We're going to tell this sort of singular story. I need to catch up on the rest of it. I caught up on like the first 2 episodes, so I need to get back with it. But I've been enjoying what I like so far. And I enjoy Baby Yoda kind of sprouting out from that.
And you like Harley Quinn too, right? You said you were impressed by that?
I love Harley Quinn. Yeah. It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's actually quite smart with how. Now, I think some of the problems people might have with it is that the characters that they're not the characters from the comic books. They're like new. They're like their own thing. Yeah. But I think it's fine though, because it's very much like, it's like an exaggeration of the DC universe. Yep. And I think it makes that clear right from the start. So I think it's fine. So typically I would be upset that Bane is a doofus, but in this it's fine because it's like a really good joke. the more it goes
Dark Knight Rises Bane.
Yeah, like, again, I don't find that voice very funny because it's very old. I think in the case of this, like, whoever's doing his voice is delivering his lines really well, and he's like having his beef stolen. I think is really funny.
What are we doing?
Yeah, like, what are we doing here? But I really enjoy it. Dr. Psycho's thing and Clayface in the third episode are both really good. And by the way, I didn't know this. Alan Tudyk is playing the Joker and Clayface, and they sound completely different. I did not know he had that much range. That is really cool.
I didn't know either until it came out. Like, he did like the little featurette. I'm like, wow, I would have never known that's the same dude.
So yeah, Harley Quinn, great. I couldn't recommend it enough. I saw some complaints about some sort of forced in feminist stuff. I think that's bullshit. I think it handles itself very well. I don't think it's cringy at all in that way.
Who has DC Universe though? Like, who's gonna realistically watch that? I mean, come on.
I have DC Universe, okay? I'll die on this sinking ship. But no, I like it a lot. I think it's pretty funny.
Okay, Aaron, what are your thoughts on these recent shows?
Okay, I love 2 out of the 3 of these shows. I gotta give quick thoughts because I gotta leave soon. But Watchmen is fantastic. I loved almost every episode of the show, except for at first I was kind of mixed because it sort of, some of the things they do contradict some things that they say within the comics. David Lindelof said this is more of a remix than a sequel. So after I got that, I was like, okay, I accept it. And the story that they're telling on its own is a very compelling one. What they do with certain characters from the comics is really, really smart and keeps true to the essence of who that character was on the page, which I'm really, really grateful for. Harley Quinn is fantastic. It's way better than it has any right being. And it has a right to be good. Shut up, first comment. I take my first comment back. I retract it. Harley Quinn is every Harley Quinn is every right, has every right to be as good as it is. I've seen the entire season so far. It is damn impressive. Clayface, what they do with his character is really smart with the way they put these certain twists on the characters for the show, utilizing aspects of the characters we didn't really put much credence into before. The writing's really good, the action's really good, the characters are compelling, and it's not only one of the best comic book shows right now, one of the best comedies on TV in general. So if you guys have DC Universe, check it out. If you don't, torrent it, find a way. There are 5 people that have
Don't endorse piracy.
I'm sorry, don't pirate it.
Watch it on something, I don't know.
We can get in trouble for that.
Don't pirate it.
Watch it on your iPod Nano like me.
Whatever you do, don't pirate Harley Quinn. Don't watch it.
But if you were...
If you were to watch it, we'd be really pleased. Now, The Mandalorian. I really like The Mandalorian. I don't quite love it. I really, really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. Episodes 4 and 5 were kind of meh for me because the first 3 episodes felt like chapters in an 8-part story. Episodes 4 and 5 felt like episodes of a TV show, which granted it is a TV show, but it just didn't have that same sort of chapter kind of feel, like something you'd expect from like a Netflix kind of show. You know, it felt like Disney was taking their crack at like a streaming show, which definitely has a different kind of flow than a typical network TV show does. Okay. That being said, the newest episode? Episode 6? Episode 6 was really enjoyable. It added to The Mandalorian and his character development, and the story itself was really cool. And Bill Burr's the shit, dude. Bill Burr's dope. So
and Clancy Brown played that big red muscle alien.
Hell yeah. Clancy Brown's dope too.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are my thoughts on those shows. You should check them all out because they're all really good. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
Where can we watch them?
You can watch them on whatever HBO stream stuff. You can watch it on Disney Plus. You can watch it on HarleyQuinn.com. Just kidding, that doesn't exist. You can watch it on Disney Plus. You could watch it on Pirate Bay. Just kidding, don't watch it on Pirate Bay. And yeah, those are all the places. I'm a sponsor. I'm a sponsor for all these networks. Hire
Subscribe
me.
to
Doing-
Disney Plus.
Doing a good job.
Subscribe to our Disney Plus channel today.
Contribute to the corporation that's seeking to kill Martin Scorsese.
That headline killed me when it said like Bob Iger planning meeting with Martin Scorsese. I'm like,
It's so
like he's
it's
gonna
so
like
good.
assassinate him or something. I'm like,
It's so good, dude.
God.